This video was actually done a year ago before the three-parter Paramount series came out. Although I am hoping that everybody has actually watched that one, and we're still going to be doing a deep dive over here because this video is excellent. Please make sure you go over there if you haven't seen it. Go over there and take a look at that because we are looking for red flags of what not to do or look for in a man. Hurry up and run whenever we see him, and I believe Wade Wilson is an excellent example of that. So we're gonna start talking. We're gonna look here and do a reaction. This is his third victim, innocent. She never even met the man.
So when the marshals got to the house to get Wade, they called the home landline phone, and Wade answered. But when he did, he told them that he needed to talk to his dad one more time before he could come out. Eventually, he did come out. And
this is actually what had happened after he killed the third victim. He broke in a house, took a shower, helped himself to the guy's clothes. Literally no respect for anyone.
He was arrested and he was taken to jail where he told the police that while he was in the house, he took a shower, he ate popcorn, he drank 5 White Claws, then he borrowed some of the homeowner's clothing to wear.
No respect.
I don't know. I guess that's how you unwind after you commit a double murder. You eat some popcorn and drink some White Claws. It just seems very casual to me, but whatever.
What is attractive about this man's face right here? What is attractive about this man in general? Offensive face tattoos, all offensive. Just honestly, what is attractive about this man? I could see when he was on the street before all this happened, before all those offensive tattoos got on his face, I could see how he could probably be charming for a split second. Let me just reiterate for a split second because he has nothing to offer women. He has no job, no stability. He's not going nowhere in life. So again, I'm still baffled on what would have attracted anyone to want to get into a relationship with this man, whether he was on the street or locked up. Because you got to have a lot more. You need to grab you some criteria and want to develop some kind of a checklist in what you're looking for in a man. And also just realize that you are worth more than that. And if a man is not going nowhere in his life, he has no job, no stability, and just, I don't know, free falling, just like casually, just like jumping through life over here, run on that one too. Run, red flag, run.
It's weird. So while the investigation was pending, Wade was held with no bond, and he was held on multiple charges related to
1,000% agree with Annie Elise. She's not impressed whatsoever by this man. I'm certainly not impressed, and I'm still like scratching my head on what was so attractive about this man. I might have could have got on the train with you guys maybe whenever I was like coming out of high school and stuff, but I've been different a lot, but again, still single, but I'm not, nothing is attractive about a man that has no job, no stability, no vehicle, no place to live, beats on women. At first glance, the dude looks cute. Yeah, he looks like he's cute right here before all these face tats that he got. So, at first glance, the dude could be cute, maybe take him home for the night. Or not, especially what happened in the other lady's case. But you use them and you throw them out. I mean, that's honestly, ladies, what I would recommend on bad boys is don't go nowhere with them, and stay like numbers game, no relationship. This kind of a man is not relationship material.
Melissa and for breaking into this house that he was hiding out. Now, I know by now you're probably wondering who exactly the second woman was that I mentioned earlier. Well, while all of this craziness was going down with Wade, the Cape Coral Police Department were also investigating another missing person. So at some point that same morning that everything happened with Melissa, a purse was picked up outside a local elementary school, and it was turned into the school resource officer. The officer found that the purse belonged to a 43-year-old woman named Diane Ruiz. When the officer couldn't get a hold of her, He asked another patrol officer to swing by the house and see if she was there and if they could return her purse. When the officer went to the house, Diane wasn't there, but her son was. He told them to take the purse over to her work where she had walked to that morning. She worked less than a half a mile from the school at a place called the Moose Lodge. She worked there as a bartender and a server. She had worked there, in fact, for the past few years. That morning, their family friend, who was an Uber driver and usually took her to work, wasn't available, so she had decided to walk, which only usually would take about 10 to 15 minutes. Well, when he went to go take the purse to her work, big surprise, she wasn't there. She was a no-call, no-show, which is something that she had never done before. So the police went back to her house, and at the direction of her son, she ended up being reported as a missing person. Her fiance came home from work around lunchtime after.
This lady was completely sweet, innocent, walking to work, didn't know Wade Wilson from Adam and Eve. But here's something that you never do if this is what really happened.
From that, a huge search started almost immediately. She was listed as missing and endangered. The community worked together to try to find her, all while law enforcement was working very quietly behind the scenes, connecting the dots to everything. 3 days later, on October 10th, law enforcement announced that Christine's murder and Diane's disappearance were believed to be connected. Another part of what had helped them connect those dots was that Diane's phone had been found in the car that Wade was driving. Then later that same day, Diane's body was found. It was found on an empty lot. When she was found, one of her fingers and her nasal bone were both fractured. She also had a laceration underneath her left breast and bruising on both sides of her body. She also had bruising on her forearms and the backside of her hand. Also on that same day, Wade had an interview with law enforcement where he admitted that he had killed both Christine and Diane. But we're going to talk more on that in just a little bit here. So as the investigation continued, autopsies for both Christine and Diane showed significant internal injuries. Christine had bruising on her organs, including her liver, her colon. She had some bruising behind her bladder. She also had swelling of the brain. Diane had
A wolf in sheep's clothing. Before he went to prison for this mishap, jail before prison, he looked like a sheep in wolf's clothing. Sweet, innocent, dimples. I guess he had that gift of gab. Past that, run on that note. But anyway, red flags, red flags, red flags. No matter how sweet and innocent a man looks, are harmless. We don't go home to the bar room with them unless we stay in numbers, have some mace, have some knot, have something to protect you. And in this lady's case right here, he was asking for directions, and she didn't think it would be any harm to jump in the vehicle with him and show him where it was at, which is where the red flag comes in of what you don't do. But she didn't deserve what happened to her by no means. Again, the reaction video is just hoping to teach people out there what not to do in the future, because no matter how sweet and innocent someone looks, you just don't know. And Annie Elise does such a great job of breaking this down and going into a deep dive of this video. And if you would like to know a lot more about it, you can go over there and look up the Wade Wilson, the face tattooed psychopath on a deadly rampage. She put it out about a year ago.
ribs, a broken hyoid bone, and damaged tracheal cartilage, among many other things. Finally, in November, over a month after the murders, Wade was indicted by a grand jury for both Christine. In October of 2020, he was caught trying to escape from jail. Apparently, Wade had slid a note under another.
Sorry, y'all, that's my dog.
Referred to that inmate as Curtis, and the note said that he was there.
He's probably telling y'all, run, run, run. Whenever you see a man like this, don't do it.
So after sliding the note under the door, Wade confirmed with Curtis for events that the note was received. Curtis's cellmate went to jail staff and told them about everything, though. He told them about the note to Curtis, whose name wasn't actually Curtis, the talking through the vents, and that he had heard pounding sounds coming from Wade's cell, which was right above them. That he had heard this pounding noise for days. So then, when Wade's cell was searched, the metal frame on the window had been removed and the glass was cracked. A metal stool that was bolted to the ground had also been pried off. which I will say, this guy was determined. So Wade and his cellmate were brought in for interviews.
Wade is always causing trouble. He is still causing trouble today on death row. Still causing trouble today on death row. You guys make sure you go over there and check out this video by Annie Elise on 10 to Life. Face tattooed psychopath goes on a deadly rampage. The Wade Wilson case. Next, she's going to go into a few of the jailhouse calls and then the trial. So if you want to watch this entire video, just make sure you go over to Annie Elise's 10 to Life and look up this video. We're going to play a little bit more, and then I think I'm going to call it on episode 3 of this reaction on this particular video right here, because once we get into the trial and all that, you can judge for yourself. There's plenty of red flags there.
A month after his arrest, he told a news station that Christine was alive and well when he left her, and also that he had just given Diane a ride and that he dropped her off at a bus stop after he had stopped to ask for directions. Then she asked for a ride. Then in 2020, he told another news station that he had previously been involved with a high-level ring of trafficking. Trafficking of people, humans. You know where I'm going with this. YouTube won't let me say it. He said that he would groom women for them, but that when he decided he no longer wanted to be a part of it and cut ties, they decided to blame him for these murders. But what was crazy about this was after he admitted to committing the murders to multiple people, including his dad, John.
Narcissist, straight up narcissist. Now, while all this is going on, there's a bunch of Wade wives surfacing here, y'all.
He also did an on-camera interview in 2023. Wade Wilson had a lot to say in his first and only on-camera interview since he was indicted on murder.
And Jesus Christ, what the hell is so attractive about that? He's even toothless up here. Come on, ladies.
Charges more than 3 years ago, and I had a lot of questions. Did you kill Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No surprise there, considering he pleaded not guilty. He seemed confident, even smug at times, while sporting his orange jumpsuit and new face tattoos.
I'm not a monster. Yeah, I'm not a
Don't forget the toothless part. Nothing really attractive about that.
While Wilson is accused of taking 2 lives, he claims to have tipped off investigators about a plot to kill another woman while behind bars. According to an arrest report late last year, Tristan Gendron asked Wilson to help kill the mother of his child, so his domestic charges would be dropped. Wilson couldn't do it himself. He was in jail. But Gendron asked if his crew on the outside could.
He just thought that I was the person to ask for that.
This is a copy of the note.
Wow. And then it seems like he's trying to rat, or was at that point, to get out of the charges. As you well know, if you are following the Wade Wilson case, he did get sentenced to death. I believe some of his Wade Wilson wives have decreased. I know one of their names, Jessie, I think, she had to go into hiding. So I do believe that a lot of women have wisened up. Go, good job, good job, good job. Not here to judge, just in my opinion. I'm not so sure what is so attractive about this man. I would love to know in the comments below without upsetting anyone in any way. I probably will do a part 4 or maybe another part about him, but I just wanted to know what is so attractive about him, and I'll give you a little story if you want to hear. A few weeks ago, I was on TikTok, and I had gotten a private message, and I always ignore those because it's not really a dating website. But I decided to respond to this one because it looked, appealing or whatever. And the gentleman claimed that he was from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm probably about 45 minutes away from New Orleans. And, so we're just chit chatting, okay? And then he wants to get off of that TikTok website because he didn't trust it. And he wanted to get on another forum, which, I wasn't really down with. So I said, we can text. So here we are texting for a day. And then he wants to get on Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is for work and for Zoom classes. It is not for talking with dating. And then when I told him no on that, and this is only talking to the person like 2-3 days into the deal, he did a FaceTime audio to me and did not sound anything at all like his picture. He was a white man, and he sounded like he was definitely from another country. And he was sending Google Docs of falsification things showing where he bought vehicles with the address of 123 Prestige Way, and the phone number was area code 214-555-1234. Never asked me for any money, but definitely said he was rich and yada, yada, yada. So I was intrigued with the dumb shit for about 2 more days because I was really hoping that women don't fall for that kind of shit. When the picture and the voice don't add up, and then he doesn't want to talk to you through any social media outlets, and then he deactivated his YouTube page, and he literally sounded like he was from another country, straight up another country. I even nicknamed him something I can't say here on YouTube. And then the documentations that he was rich, which, when you say you're rich, run, because you're not. And then showing me a purchase order for it was made on Google Docs, and once you couldn't even get past the address to figure out it was full of shit. And I don't really care if you're rich. So again, not looking for anyone, but that's just a little something that I went through probably about a week and a half ago. I thought it was quite entertaining, but also disturbing at that. So I was like, let me do some reaction on Wade Wilson, because I know he was a lot more slick than whoever this guy is. No clue who he is, but whoever this guy was. But I just wanted to say, hey, maybe that's a sign that I should get on here and do a reaction on Wade Wilson stuff, because of just the little, like, I'm talking, it might have been like a week where I was entertaining this really weird situation. And obviously I know eventually it was probably going to turn into I need money or whatever, but he wasn't even a very good scammer, let's just put it to you like that. So I'm just saying, be very, very diligent, pay close attention, and when your gut is screaming red flag, cut it. You're worth way more than that. Us as women, we're worth way more than that, and we really have to start paying attention in public, in person, and or on the internet, especially with AI getting as big as it is. So I hope that you've enjoyed this, and if you have, I hope that you will like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, thank you for watching.